Hey guys, and welcome to the fish room. I'm Rachel O'Leary, and today I thought we would take a look around the fish room, address one of your concerns, and just update you on some of the breeding projects and things that I'm enjoying in the fish room today. First up, I wanted to address the concern about the turtle tank. As you can see, I do have a basking area with UVB and a heat lamp for him. I did reach out to my aquatic vet friend who told me while there isn't concrete proof that it's required, there's not any proof that it would do any harm, so I'm just going to keep it on there on a timer. So far, the Danio Choprae or glow light Danios are doing awesome. The stink pot does not seem to be paying them any attention other than to stare at them in confusion. Everybody's settling in really well. They're looking really good, and as you can see, Stinky is currently thriving. I do need to step up my snail breeding game in order to supplement his diet because he just annihilates them as soon as I put them in there. Anyway, I appreciated all of your guys' comments and concern about the UVB bulb, and I am certainly not a turtle expert, so I'm more than happy to adjust my plans as needed based on others' experiences, and I am never so confident that I don't reach out for further guidance. So thank you guys for all of your comments on this situation, and as you can see, it has been addressed. Up next, we're going to take a look into an aquarium that I haven't showed you in quite a while, and frankly, it's because it's a pain in the butt to film, and that is my Shelly Tank. Now, I don't even remember when, many months ago, I moved a pair of Shellys into a 15-gallon long with a handful of shells. They quickly built about a 12-inch barrier. Well, maybe it's more like 8-inch barrier to the front of the aquarium, so it means I have to shoot at a downward angle. But as you can see, the Shellys are breeding like crazy. There's multiple generations in this aquarium. They're super fun fish to keep, and the other guys that I have in another tank are also doing well. A lot of people have asked recently if I'm still working with any Tanganyikan species, and as you can see, I'm still working with Neolamprologus multifasciatus here, which are breeding and doing well. Who knows, maybe I'll give them a big tank again someday, but for now they're doing really great in this 15-gallon long. Once populations get too big, I'll just pull some fry to sell. Up next, I wanted to give you an update on the baby apple snails. They are Azaline spixie snails, which historically have a pretty low yield when the clutches are left just to hatch within the aquarium. And I think my theory is that it's because they have a difficult time getting adequate nutrition and a lot of space. So what I like to do, as I've showed you guys recently, is put the clutches into a floating breeder box, and then that way I can target feed the baby snails. And as you can see, I have quite a lot, and they're doing really well. Once these guys get up to about English pea sized, I'll move them back out into the main body of the aquarium. Of course, they can also crawl out over the edge into the aquarium whenever they want, but they seem to like being in here, being fed consistently, and I'm really, really pleased with the results. Up next, I wanted to show you my 75-gallon retirement community tank with sand. This is an aquarium I set up last year, basically because I wanted to show you guys how to use pool filter sand. It houses a bunch of odds and ends from around the fish room, and this is an aquarium that I'll probably be moving a bunch of my overflow fish into from the breeding racks in order to consolidate my efforts as I'm getting closer to my dual hand surgery. This tank is extremely lightly stocked, so I think that there's plenty of room to move things into here. All in all, it's doing pretty well. It does have some slight algae issues, but again, no fertilization, no CO2, completely nutrient-free substrate. All in all, I'm pretty pleased with how everything's doing. The panda cories look amazing. All the other fish are doing great, and this aquarium's a super easy keeper. I set this one up as well because I think it was one that would be easy for all of you to emulate. Now, I would prefer to have more of some of the species of fish, but again, these are fish that were like leftovers or odds and ends, and they just get to move into this aquarium, this retirement community, to live out their life. I have considered picking up some dwarf cichlids or something like that to put in here, but I think instead I'll just move over a bunch of my other fish, like I mentioned, in anticipation of my recovery period. And then who knows, maybe this will be one that I redo again this upcoming year. We'll have to see. I would definitely love to get more of these Trigonostigma espi or lamb chopper asboras. They are one of my all-time favorites and just a really beautiful, beautiful fish when they settle in and mature, as you can see here. Up next, I'm going to be showing you another breeding project. I had been hoping to capture these pandas breeding for you guys, but they tend to do it in the back of the tank, so stay tuned for that in the future as well. Next, we're going to be looking into my 75-gallon guppy tank. Now, historically, I don't work with a lot of live bearers, and that's because my water is pretty dilute and soft, and I find that most live bearers really do better with a bit of hardness to the water. Now, I could certainly adjust this in order to work with them, but they really just have not been an area of fish keeping that I find particularly interesting until I saw these guppies at my buddy Ricky's house in New York City. These are Ginga rubra guppies, and they are really tiny, like Endler sized, and as you can see, just phenomenally gorgeous. And he gave me a small group to start with last year, and as you can see, they have just taken over. Now, I may move dwarf Corydoras into this aquarium, but I don't want to move anything much bigger than them, simply because I'm really pleased with their breeding progress, and I want to be able to have them to share with other hobbyists in the future. Really beautiful, really tiny, amazing little guppy, and you know, I now fully consider myself a guppy lover because of these fish. Up next, we're going to take a look in my 55-gallon Super Red aquarium. I've been working with these fish for a very long time, and as you can see, there are many generations in here. All sizes. They breed constantly, as do the tetras that are in with them. Key to this aquarium is tons and tons of hides so that the male ancestress don't get into too big of fights, and so that the babies can avoid the tetras. So this is absolutely covered with plants, tons of botanicals for everybody to graze on, as well as a million hides for the fish to spawn in. And again, they are a constant source of joy and success within the fish room. Up next, I just wanted to show you that I'm still working with shrimp. I think I have about 8 species right now, or 8 color forms really, most of which are Neocaridina. The yellows are my favorite, so that's why I'm showing you them here. Everybody is breeding and doing really well. The Redrillies are slower to breed for me for some reason, but I particularly like the line I have going here. The patterning is super bold, and they are doing quite well as well. Another tank that you guys ask a lot about are my Siwellia CW01s, which, as you can see, are doing well. Now, I sold off basically all of the adults, but kept a group of, I think there's about 10, maybe 15 in here of the juveniles that I'm letting grow out for future breeding projects, or maybe to move into the hill stream. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm working with 3 different strains of white cloud. These are standards. They're particularly nice, though. As you can see, I have quite a lot, and they're extremely fat. There's also some Corydoras in there. Some of those fish are ones that I'll be moving. This is the group of the long-finned white clouds that I'm holding back to breed again outdoors this upcoming summer. They were sent to me by one of you guys, and they are really beautiful, but I didn't get much of a yield this year, so I'm going to try a different strategy this summer. And then, of course, I have my yellowfin white clouds, the line I've been working with for a long time, and I moved my tin wine-eye in there as they were being outcompeted for food. Finally, I wanted to give you guys a newt update. The ones in the paludarium that is so beautiful have not shown back up. I think that they're within the hardscape, honestly, and I'm not quite sure what to do about that other than wait, so that's what I'm going to do. These are the 3 juveniles that I have in a separate tank. I plan to set up another setup for them with a very different strategy based on my experiences with the paludarium. Anyway, I hope everyone is staying safe and staying healthy. Thanks again for your continued support, and I will see you in the next video.